I threw the term harmonic rhythm out in the Facebook group a couple weeks ago, and almost nobody had heard of it before. It's an incredibly simple concept, and taking advantage of it is a really easy way to put a little more interest and variety into your chord progressions and song structures. Hi, I'm Brian from Unmute Your Muse TV, where we teach 5-minute masterclasses for songwriters. We use the Gold Song Solution to help you write the kinds of songs that people will love, buy, and tell their friends about. Today's main takeaway is, manipulating your harmonic rhythm is an easy way to make your chord progressions more interesting. Now, I didn't hear the term harmonic rhythm until my freshman year of college when I was studying jazz at the University of North Texas. During one of my theory classes, my professor, Dan Hurley, threw out the term, and I was like, so is it a harmony or is it a rhythm? How can it be both? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. Harmonic rhythm is simply the speed at which the chords of a song change. But rather than trying to talk in abstract theoretical terms, I'm going to be spending most of this video playing concrete examples for you. And just to keep things simple, every example that I play is going to be in 4/4 time, which means that there are 4 beats per measure, and a quarter note is equal to 1 beat. But the same principles here that we talk about here with 4/4 time could be applied to any other time signature. So listen to this little chord progression. All right, I'm gonna play it again, but this time let's count out the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty straight ahead. Each chord gets 4 beats, 1 measure. But how do we keep track of all that? Well, there are a couple different ways to write out harmonic rhythms. One way is to use standard rhythmic notation. So our little 4-chord progression would look something like this. 4 equal whole notes. More often though, rather than using regular notes, harmonic rhythm would be notated using percussion notation, which is just like the regular rhythms, only with slanted note heads. Now, if you can't read standard rhythms, that's fine. You'll be able to use text notation instead, and it would look like this. Now, the vertical lines here are the bar lines. They indicate the end of a measure, and the hash marks represent 1 beat each, as do the actual chord symbols themselves. So if you count the C and the 3 hash marks that come after that in the first measure, you get 4 beats, which is what we're looking for, because we're in 4/4 time. And then if we wanted to summarize it numerically, it would look something like this. You just tack a little 4, 4, 4, 4 at the end, representing each of the bars having, or each of the chords having 4 beats each. Now, the important thing to notice here is that the actual rhythm that I'm playing on guitar doesn't affect the harmonic rhythm. So I can play a more complicated strumming pattern, something like... And it's still the same thing. Each chord was each lasting 4 beats. So the harmonic rhythm is still the same. Or I could do some more complicated finger picking, something like this. And it doesn't change the harmonic rhythm. All that we're worried about here is how long each of the chord lasts, not the strumming pattern or the picking pattern. Now, that specific chord progression that I've been using, 1, 5, 6, 4, has been used in literally thousands of songs. It's straight ahead and predictable. But if we wanted to add just a little bit of variety to it, we can do that without even changing the chords. So here, listen to this. It's a little bit less predictable. The chords don't last the same amount of time now. Instead of 4 equal chords of 4 beats each, we've got one that lasts 8 beats, 2 that last 2 beats, and the last one lasts 4. So those of you who are into paying attention to how structure affects prosody will notice that this harmonic rhythm is a little bit less stable than the previous one, and as such, it might be appropriate to use in a song section with some less stable lyrics. All right, let's start messing around with it a little bit more. How about this? That one's even more unpredictable than the last one. Now, in the vast majority of songs, chords are going to last either 2, 4, or 8 beats, but there's no rule about that. You can certainly use an odd number of beats for some of the chords. Maybe something like this. It's the same chords in the same order, I'm just messing around with the harmonic rhythm. Now, if you really want to screw with things, you don't even have to have the chords change on the downbeats. So in any genre of music that has syncopation in it, which is just about everything, it's fair game to have chords switching on upbeats or other subdivisions. However, if you're going to have the chord switch on something other than the downbeat, the text notation that we've been doing doesn't work anymore, and you'll have to revert to standard rhythmic notation. Here's an example. It's the same 4 chords in the same order, just a more interesting harmonic rhythm. So, as you can see, there are a wide variety of ways that you can mess around with harmonic rhythm. And we didn't even have to mess with the actual chord progression at all. Now, if you were willing to have more than 4 chords, or maybe just repeat a couple of them, you could come up with some pretty funky chord progressions to fill that same 4 bars. It's pretty cool. Now, some types of metal and punk take this technique to an extreme, writing out entire riffs of power chords with really rhythmically complex harmonic rhythms. And honestly, the possibilities are endless. And all of that is just with manipulating the harmonic rhythm. We didn't even have to add any exotic chords. So, I've got a 3-step challenge for you this week. 1. Sit down with a song that you really like, maybe one that you already know how to play, and then see if you can write out the harmonic rhythm for each of the lines. See if any patterns emerge. Are they using the same harmonic rhythms throughout the song, or does it change? Does the level of stability of the harmonic rhythm go along with the level of stability of the lyrics? Number 2, write out some chord progressions, but I want you to pay particular attention to the harmonic rhythm. Try messing around with things until you come up with something that you really like. Try writing out rhythms that have varying amounts of stability. And number 3, hop into our Facebook group, the Unstuck Songwriter Society, and share some of the stuff that you've been working on. We're also going to post some songs in there for you to analyze just to see if you can pick up on how some well-known songwriters take advantage of manipulating their harmonic rhythm in the songs. All right, everybody, I hope that this was all helpful. And as I've said before, and I'm sure that I'll say this again, rhythm is the most important musical element. So paying attention to the rhythms of our chord progressions is just as important as paying attention to rhythms of our drum beats or strumming patterns. Manipulating your harmonic rhythm is an easy way to make your chord progressions more interesting. All right, everybody, stay safe, be joyful, and keep writing.